You're listening to KTWR, broadcasting from the beautiful island of Guam. Our program is heard each Sunday at 10:26 Coordinated Universal Time, broadcasting on 15200 kilohertz in the 19-meter band. Coming up next is Dxer Diary. This is KTWR, Agana, Guam, where hope knows no barriers.
Welcome to the 18th episode of your favorite program, Dxers Diary, a weekly show for the Dxers across the world. Produced and presented for Transworld Radio by Arun Kumar Narasimhan from Chennai in India. In this 5-minute program, we broadcast listeners' logs, band scans, news and frequency change by radio stations across the world. Sunspots play a significant role in the broadcast and reception of radio signals, and every week, Dxers Diary has been providing you details about sunspot number, SFI forecast and A index. The sunspot number this week is 54, SFI forecast is 79 and A index ranges from 5 to 8. For the past few weeks we have been listening to the history of various popular radio stations across the world. This week we will be listening to the history of Radio Canada International. According to Radio Canada International's website, in 1929, the AARD Commission recommended the creation of a nationally owned broadcasting corporation. CBC Radio Canada was founded to counter the growing influence of American radio on Canadian airspace. In 1932, the Canadian Radio Broadcasting Commission, the forerunner of CBC and Radio Canada, was created. The Canadian Radio Broadcasting Commission's first radio newscast was aired during 1933. In 1936, CBC of the Radio Canada took its birth, replacing the Canadian Radio Broadcasting Commission. Radio Canada aired its first radio serials in 1938. During this period, Radio Canada started regular broadcasts of hockey games. The first broadcasts were of Montreal Canadiens games, live from the Montreal Forum. The Second World War broke out, and CBC Radio Canada turned its focus towards the war by providing wartime coverage. Radio Canada sent a team of announcers and technicians to accompany the Canadian Armed Forces 1st Division to England. In 1940, the basic national radio network was renamed the Trans-Canada Network. In 1941, the news divisions were started. In February 1945, the Voice of Canada spoke to the world for the first time. The Canadian Broadcasting Corporation's international service was started to broadcast programs to Canadian forces overseas in the Second World War. At the end of the war, the radio service focused on telling the world about Canada in over a dozen languages. Despite budget cuts and critics who accused it of operating as a government mouthpiece, the service now called Radio Canada International has continued to broadcast its program to listeners over ages. In its inaugural broadcast, Prime Minister Mackenzie King says that the international service of CBC will extend Canadian ideals of equality and freedom to the world. The international service aired the program to the United Kingdom and Western Europe in 3 languages, English, French and German, with a strong and clear signal. Today, Radio Canada caters to a large spectrum of audience across the world through its radio and digital broadcast services. Listeners can also email us the history of radio stations they come across or they know. We will broadcast it in the Dxers Diary for the benefit of other listeners. Friends, we are at the end of the program now. Listeners can send their logs, band scans, reception report, views and opinion about the program to dxersdiary@gmail.com. I repeat, it's dxersdiary@gmail.com. As usual, we do urge our listeners to keep emailing us their reception reports. We will acknowledge them with the reception report with the QSL card as early as possible. Until next week, this is Arun Kumar Narasimhan signing off. 73. Bye-bye.